In this video, we're going to take a look at tables in Word 2019. If you want to create text that looks like this, usually when we think of tables, we think of stuff being in a grid format, kind of like in Excel. And so if you want to create something that looks like this, a table is what you use. You can also create something, though, that looks like this. And this is the exact same text that I had up above. The only difference is that I have turned off the grid lines in between. So anytime you want to put stuff in rows and columns, whether you want grid lines or not, tables are the thing to use in Word. Now, before you can do anything with the table, you have to create the table in the first place. I've got some text here that we're going to convert into a table. This text is tab delimited. I've got my show hide button pushed in, otherwise there's no way you could tell. So I put a tab character in between columns. So this is column 1, column 2, and every one of these rows has 6 columns, so there should be 5 tab characters on each row separating the 6 columns. Down here I've got some more text that has slashes instead of tabs, and it turns out that Excel can handle something like this and convert it into a table just as easily as it can something that's limited by tabs. All we have to do is tell it what the character is that's separating one column from the next. So let's select the data up here first. And when you do this, be careful that you don't grab an extra line above or line below. If you don't have the same number of separation characters, in this case tab characters, on every single line, then Word gets a little bit confused about how many columns are supposed to be in the table. So let's go to Insert, Table, and we're going to convert text to a table. So click on that. And it has guessed that we want 5 columns and 6 rows. And if we go ahead and click on OK, that's what we get. Okay. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to select an extra character above, and the same would happen if I selected a character below. And I'm going to go to the Insert tab, and I'm going to say I want to insert a table, and I want to convert text into a table. And now when I tell it the number of columns, it thinks I want 1 column. If I tell it OK here, then I get something that looks like that. And that is not what I wanted at all. So I'm going to undo that. So the lesson here is, before you try to convert text into a table, make sure that each row has exactly the same number of separation characters. Frequently it'll be a tab character. Sometimes it might be something else like a comma or a slash or something like that. But let's go ahead and tell it that what we want to do is we want to convert the text to a table. And now it's selecting correctly again, and we'll click on. And we're going to do fixed column, or we're going to do an automatic column width here. So just click on OK, and it automatically sizes the columns for us. And we'll talk about formatting columns in another video. Okay, I've got some more text down here, and this text is marked to be separated. I've got a slash, the same place where I had a tab character up here, and I can tell Word to look for a slash character instead of looking for a tab character. So select the text, and again, be careful. There are no slashes up here, there are no slashes down here, so don't select any extra lines. And then let's go to our Insert tab, and then let's go to Table, and then let's tell it that we want to convert text to a table. And it's going to say 1 column again, because it doesn't see any tabs. Tab is what it looks for by default. And so I'm going to tell it here is I want to separate the text, not paragraphs, which would be the end of every line, but I want to separate it on some other character. And the character that I want is a slash. So just type a slash in that box and click on OK. And this table looks, the column widths are a little bit different, but otherwise it is exactly the same table structure as we had before. There's another way to create a table. If you know ahead of time exactly how many rows and columns you want on your table, just go to the Insert tab and choose Table. And we've got a little grid up here, and as long as you don't do more than 10 columns or 8 rows, I think, you can insert a table, and does a little live preview for you here too. So I had 6 columns by 5 rows, so I can get the same table structure by going up here. And then I can put the data in afterwards. So if you've already got the data and there's some kind of a separator, use this method. Otherwise, if you don't have any data, but you know what your table structure is going to look like, then use the method that we use to create this table up here.